Center of the World Festival Incorporated, KCPK, LPFM 106.9, Independent Broadcasting Coalition, IBC, contracts. Summary of Independent Broadcast Coalition benefits and contracts. 1. All benefits for non-IBC member also are benefits for IBC members. 2. Must be an independent podcast business owner with retention of private business income, expenses, underwriting control, and talent management. 3. Nonprofit corporation fiduciary membership obligations. 4. Knowledge of FCC underwriting rules and federal and state copyright laws. 5. Knowledge of the types of contracts which are required for legal issues. 6. Understanding of KCPK affiliation with Pacifica Radio Network. 7. Requirements of KCPK podcast production and how to edit your podcasts. 8. Public download of podcast available on KCPK LP archive. 9. Upload of podcast episodes to Pacifica Archive for download and re-airing on other Pacifica affiliate stations. 10. Marketing to other Pacifica affiliate stations. 11. Possibility of Pacifica Network syndication. 12. Dedicated website for IBC members. 13. Weekly consistent time for podcast episode. 14. Marketing agreements and other options. 15. Further opportunities developed by IBC members. All benefits for non-IBC also are benefits for IBC members. Go to www.calfest.org and click on the training videos menu tab. Watch Podcaster Opportunities, which will explain the marketing aspects of the radio scheduling formats. Then watch Non-IBC Contracts. It is important that you understand the role you will play in providing the pathway by which a non-IBC podcaster can move from limited involvement to a voting member status. As you fulfill your legal obligations as a voting member, you will be presenting this information to new podcasters. Must be an independent podcast, business owner with income, etc. Click on the menu tab Independent Broadcast Coalition and scroll down the page to the heading Section 6, IBC Membership, and click on Summary of the IBC. A document entitled Summary of IBC Guidelines can be downloaded. Please read this document before you proceed, as some items will not be explained in this video, but are important factors for your consideration before joining IBC. In deciding if you have a business, the IRS guidelines should be considered. The DBA of the Radio Committee is composed of the words which define the role of these voting members. Independent means that you have a business which is separate from your hobbies. The legal obligations of the nonprofit are very different from your business than its obligations for a volunteer of the nonprofit. Broadcast means that you are engaged in some form of business related to podcasting or media work. Coalition means that a separate and unique business individuals have joined together to form this radio committee of the nonprofit. Nonprofit, corporation, fiduciary members, obligations. Click on the menu tab Volunteer to view the voting member orientation video and understand the legal structure of the Center of the World Festival nonprofit, which is the licensee of KCPK LP radio station. Knowledge of FCC underwriting and federal and state copyright laws. It is required that all IBC applicants read the legal documents on underwriting and copyright and take the exams. Violations of these federal and state laws can create a monetary fine up to $250,000. You will find these exams on the menu tab Independent Broadcast Coalition and under Section 1, Underwriting, and Section 2, Copyrights. There are other legal documents which you will want to read at some point, as these pertain to FCC rules for radio station broadcasts, which affects the language you may use in podcasts. There are also legal rules regarding podcasting. When you fulfill your fiduciary duty of approving the podcast submitted by non-IBC members, you must know these rules in order to effectively vet their submissions. Knowledge of the types of contracts which are required for legal issues. The IBC webpage has links to multiple types of licenses and releases, which you will need to know about. Vetting a podcast submission requires that appropriate releases be attached to the submission. Understanding of KCPK affiliation with Pacifica Radio Network. On the IBC webpage, please read Section 5, which pertains to the contracts that KCPK has signed with Pacifica Radio Network. This affiliation will provide much of your marketing value as an IBC member. These benefits are not available to non-IBC podcasters. Requirements of KCPK podcast production and editing for KCPK broadcasts. We follow the recommendations from Pacifica Network to improve your marketing value. More training will be provided on this on a one-on-one basis. You are allowed a 28-minute podcast recorded at 128 kbps and submitted in MP3 file format. No underwriting announcement is allowed in that 28 minutes. Your underwriting is recorded on a separate MP3 file of 1 minute in length. The underwriting MP3 file will be removed before upload of your podcast to Pacifica AudioPort. The affiliate station can then add their own local underwriting announcements. The underwriting MP3 file will consist of your sponsor's announcements, which are at least 15 seconds long, but no longer than 30 seconds. Thus, for your business planning, you may have 4 spots of 15 seconds each, 3 spots of 20 seconds each, 2 spots of 30 seconds each, or a combination of 2 15-second with 1 30-second spot. KCPK radio staff will add another 1 minute to the local and internet broadcast. This will consist of station-sold local underwriting, station ID announcements, and public access information. This portion will also be removed before your podcasts upload to Pacifica AudioPort. Flowchart review. Your podcast business submission to KCPK will consist of your podcast and your underwriting announcements. KCPK adds to this submission to create a 30-minute broadcast show. Public download of your podcast is available on KCPK Archive. If you recall the scheduling format benefits from the video for non-IBC members, there is one major difference for IBC members. Your podcast, if you want, will be available for public download during the time it is on the archive. Upload of podcast to Pacifica Archives and download and re-air by Pacifica affiliates. For marketing value, your podcast will be uploaded to Pacifica AudioPort, where other affiliate stations can download your podcast for airing on their radio station. Marketing of your podcast to other Pacifica Radio Network affiliates. Here is a listing of all the stations for outreach marketing, directly to them or via the shared email server. Pacifica Radio, network affiliates, syndication opportunities. If your podcast series is picked up by major affiliates, your show becomes syndicated and will have marketing value on the Pacifica website. The name of your show will be a link to your website. Dedicated website for KCPK IBC members. At this website, our public listeners may get more information about the podcasters who contribute to the radio broadcasts. Also, the additional business services offered by the IBC members can be accessed. Weekly consistent time slot for your podcast and more, as agreed by IBC. Podcasts are scheduled on every hour and half hour. Your time is determined based upon what time your audience prefers to listen to your live broadcast and simulcast internet stream. Coalition agreements for marketing and other advertising options. IBC is a worker self-directed membership nonprofit. It's an alternative business-to-business alliance which focuses upon partnerships, not profits. Its coalition provides collective information and training which helps to grow your business. Further opportunities as developed by IBC Independent Broadcast Coalition. We can do more together than separately in creating new opportunities. Summary of Independent Broadcast Coalition benefits and contracts. 1. All benefits for non-IBC member also are benefits for IBC members. 2. Must be an independent podcast business owner with retention of private business income, expenses, underwriting control, and talent management. 3. Nonprofit corporation fiduciary membership obligations. 4. knowledge of FCC underwriting rules and federal and state copyright laws. 5. Knowledge of the types of contracts which are required for legal issues. 6. Understanding of KCPK affiliation with Pacifica Radio Network. 7. Requirements of KCPK podcast production and how to edit your podcasts. 8. Public download of podcast available on KCPK LP Archive. 9. Upload of podcast episodes to Pacifica Archive for download and re-airing on other Pacifica affiliate stations. 10. Marketing to other Pacifica affiliate stations. 11. Possibility of Pacifica Network syndication. 12. Dedicated website for IBC members. 13. Weekly consistent time for podcast episode. 14. Marketing agreements and other options. 15. Further opportunities developed by IBC members.